are today with Saji. Saji, could you introduce yourself before we go with your favorite cooked dish here?
Sure. My name is Saji George. I've been here in America since 1980. So I was about 13 years old when I came here. And I've been at this house for the last 20 years. And I have a couple of kids. I have a son who's 23-year-old, and then I have a daughter who's 20 years old. I work at my husband's office. He's a primary care physician. I manage the office. I've done all kinds of things. I've studied nutrition in Syracuse, New York. And I worked as a dietitian for many, many years, like 10 years. Then I was a pharmaceutical sales rep. After that, my husband needed help in the office, so I started helping manage and things like that, which became very handy with raising kids, more flexible schedule, and especially when your husband is your boss, you know. Like I'm here today. I don't have to be at the office all the time, and I've learned to manage and trust my staff and things like that. So it's easier to manage even being off-site.
Yeah.
So
and you were just about to open your own restaurant before COVID-19 hit. You want to talk about that? And I know your passion is food.
Yes, I've been wanting to open a restaurant for as long as I can remember. I just have this passion for cooking and passion for serving, hospitality, that kind of thing. So when you have I'm not like professionally trained as a chef or anything like that. I've learned as going, like making mistakes, just trial and error and things like that. But it's just that my passion to make people happy through food is what I've learned from childhood. And I just wanted to do that. I want to share that with the people.
So one of the stories I really liked hearing from you, and I want people to hear, is you choose today to make biryani, but you explain that you can do it in 15 minutes, but back home and when you were a child, it takes you a whole day to make biryani. So tell us about that.
Yes, so biryani is a dish that is served usually at weddings, special occasions. In India, of course, no matter what, there's not plentiful of food for everyone. So there's like meat is limited. So when you do have special occasion is when you go really overboard. Just make it a happy occasion. Try to people cut goat for that, specially saved for that occasion. I personally had to go catch ducks before like an Easter Sunday or something like that, and it was really funny. Living in my grandmother's home, I have to go catch this duck, and this duck would be like in a pond, just quacking away, and I would go run to one circle and then the other, the duck will be swimming to the other side. It would take me all day to even catch that duck, but it would be like amazing when I do catch that duck. And I had to actually kill the duck.
Wow. And at the age of
12, 13, peel the feathers off, and smells really bad. And as a teenager, you're like, it's so disgusting, but this is food, and what should I say? Like, it was amazing to have that. I mean, it's not like you have a ton of meat and there will be a lot of family members, but whatever my grandmother, my aunt used to cook, we all ate happily, whatever it was. Sometimes women tend to eat like towards the end of the meal. Men are always fed, like in the beginning, they're served the best part. Women get like towards the end, and it's kind of fun to sit with your grandmother and all that. It's not as formal. You share, you feed each other, and you transfer the food a little bit, and I still continue to do that. It was just a warm, great feeling, like you accomplished something at the end of the day, that you got this food to eat, and you really savor it, because it might be very little, but it just made you full just because, you know, it's something to, it's a pleasure. It is something to be enjoyed with the family, and it's just a happy occasion to sit together and enjoy that at the end of a lot. So yeah, actually we're just two, and my dad, we grew up in a different city, and my mom died when I was like 4 years old. After that, he had business and he lost his business. So I went from like an extremely a great household. We had like maids and chauffeur. I used to have in kindergarten, I had a chauffeur bring me like a tiffin of meals for lunch, and which I didn't want, you know, like I would give it to all the other kids. I just wanted their free meal, you know, because it smells so good when they make it. It was like bulgur, the wheat, they just cracked wheat, they just boil it, but the wheat smells so good when they cook it in school. I would give my meals to the children, and there'd be fried fish, there'd be like more than any kid can eat. But then from there, I went to a home with my grandmother, my cousin. There's like 10, 12 people in the house, because my dad had to travel for business and things like that, and he had to go away. So he needed us to be in a stable home. So my uncle and my aunt was nice enough to have us stay with them. You know, it was a lot of burden on them. Money was short, food was short, but it just makes you appreciate every single thing that you really have.
So tell us about the dish today.
Okay, so this is chicken biryani. Actually, biryani is basically a dish that is rice and meat, or you can do vegetarian, people do vegetables. We have another thing called paneer, which is like a cheese cubes. Some vegetarians do that. You can do shrimp, fish, you can do anything. It's just a layered dish of rice and meat or fish or whatever. And I just want to say, like, I think biryani came, like the Mughals, the Persians brought this dish to India, and depending on different parts of the India, like different people have a different twist to it. There's no, when you say like, oh, this is a biryani, this might taste completely different from somebody else's biryani. So it's my version of this cooking. So in growing up, there was no recipes, there was no internet to look up how do you make this. You just kind of remember how your grandmother, your aunt or whatever, how did they make it before. Even simple as, like, they don't even have stove. They have to stuff like a thing with kerosene to boil this. Some people do it outside. They put bricks and stones and make a pot and put it there. So it's just a whole day process to make this. So you think like this is a very complicated dish and there's no way I can make this. You're actually scared of making this because what if I mess up or whatever. But then I come to find out, like, hey, you know, like you do trials and error, like, hey, this came out pretty good. It's not so bad, you know. And even coming here to America, like me and my sister-in-law, whenever we have guests over, let's make biryani, you know, because it became like where we learned how to make it, where it's a quick thing to do. It's a one dish thing, and it wows everyone. Wows everyone. Yes. Everybody's happy, full, you know, satisfied.
That's true.
So this is whole chicken that my husband was kind enough to cut it up for me. So normally we use with the bones. You know, preferably it just adds a lot of flavor to it. I know a lot of people don't like the bones to deal with. I went ahead and marinated it with some yogurt, this Greek yogurt right here, some salt, lemon juice, some spices. I put some chili powder. This is biryani masala. So biryani masala is ready-made. You can buy it like ready to go. It's a convenience thing, but you can make your own masala too. So people do that on their own. Basically, it is like cinnamon powder, cloves, you know, some chili powder. The ingredients are listed in here. They have a whole bunch of things: black pepper, cardamom. It just makes a combination of things, and you grind it. That's biryani masala. So you can make your own if you don't have access to this Indian store to buy it or whatever. it's one thing I want to say is this biryani dish, it's like it's nothing like cut and dry, okay? So it's okay, it doesn't have to be exact measurement. I'm number one in throwing things in and hope it comes out kind of thing, but it normally always comes out. But just a general principle, you can easily use a packet of this. So this is a whole chicken. I took some chicken out to show you how to marinate it. So so what you do is, also you can make your own ginger garlic paste. Again, this is a convenience thing. They sell it at the Indian store, ready-made ginger garlic paste. So I take a tablespoon of this.
And this is stay overnight or a couple of hours? Or?
I mean, the more longer, the better it is. This, you know, you can do it as fast as like you come home from work and you just toss some chicken and put it in a Ziploc bag and put some spices in and keep it. And by the time you go change your clothes and come back, you're ready to cook it. But of course, if it stays marinated longer, it absorbs more and it tastes better, you know. So a tablespoon of this, and I already put out the biryani masala in here, so I just dump it in here. And some chili powder. We like it spicy, but I didn't put this much chili powder in this. Okay. And you can also add some lemon, squeeze some lemon juice. Okay, so that's it. You just, you know, a little bit of biryani masala has everything in it. So you just, you know, like let's say you had a very stressed out day and you take your chicken,
put it here.
Bam, you just kind of like mix it all up. The more you kind of mix it up, it gets in there, you know. Okay, so this is ready to go for the next biryani. So you can just stick it in the fridge if you want to make it later. So
can you freeze it? Can you freeze it like this?
I forgot to add the yogurt. So you also add the yogurt.
Oh wow. And the yogurt is plain yogurt, not sweet.
It's just Greek yogurt, plain yogurt, never flavored yogurt. Greek yogurt just makes it nice and thick.
And that's the other thing, like growing up in Iraq, we always never had sweet yogurt. All what we had is the plain yogurt or sour yogurt. Coming here, the first time I tasted the sweet yogurt, I'm like, what? Yeah. What? So it took me a really long time to get used to it. But we also do
dessert, right? With sometimes you put some honey or something if you want to have or eat it with the banana or something like that. So you just mix this up. Really, like, there's no right way or wrong way. I really actually don't even measure things. I just eyeball it and put it in, you know. So we'll just put this in the fridge. So it'll continue to like marinate.
And you have this already.
So I have this chicken, and what I have is I've cut up some cilantro and mint. I've also cut up a little bit of onion. I also cut up another onion in like ring form. I'll show you an easy way to fry this onion. It's more of a garnish.
Okay.
So these are all like garnish stuff, which is optional. Like people put cashews and raisins and things like that. All right. So we come here. So like I said, normally biryani takes a long time to make, and no matter how bad of a day you had, you know, you can come. Most people don't have time to fuss with the, you know, a long day making a biryani. So this just goes how fast you can make a dish, and it's satisfying, and everybody is happy. So this is already marinated. So I'm gonna turn it on the pressure cooker. Yeah, so it's a power pressure cooker. Now, there's several ways to do it. You can do it all in one dish. You can do, in India, how they do it is they make the rice separately, they make the chicken separately, then they have like a pan, like a cast iron, what is those called? Those enamel, those heavy pot.
Oh yeah,
like a heavy
Dutch
oven.
Okay,
yes, and so you layer some butter on it. You layer the rice, layer the meat, and then they even cover it to give that good cover sealed effect to get it steamed. They put like a piece of dough around it to seal it, and they put it in the oven and let it slow cook for a little bit. So that's one way to make it. I've done it in rice cooker. I've done it in air fryer. I've done it in
Wow.
So there's so many ways to do this, because people think, oh, it's so complicated. It's going to take me all day. This is fast way to make it. So I always put some ghee. This is homemade ghee, ghee is basically butter that we cook for a long time. Again, in a Dutch oven, and like clarified butter.
Okay.
So you're taking all the milk solids out of it, and then we just keep it. It smells really good. So this can be had for people who are dairy free, because there's no dairy. It's pure fat. Okay, so it's turning on here. So we'll come over here, and I'm just gonna put some ghee.
Ghee's expensive to buy in the store. For
Yeah,
some reason.
because it's pure butter. So, and what we use is Kerrygold grass-fed butter. So I put about 4 spoons, okay? And I'm gonna put these onions in it just to start sauteing.
And you keep this in the refrigerator after?
No, you can keep it outside because there's no dairy, there's no milk in it. You can keep, it's like fat, it's like any oil. So you start putting the onions in, and now I do have some spices like cinnamon,
Cardamom, and what's the other two?
This is black cardamom.
Oh wow!
It's a bigger cardamom.
Oh, I never saw black cardamom. Does it taste the same?
It's a little different.
Okay.
So it's a little different. It just gives another depth of flavor, And cloves.
Wow. And cinnamon.
You can just break
Cinnamon
this if
stick.
you can. It's a little hard. It's okay if you don't. You can put it home.
Okay. Yeah.
So when
that's
you
true.
have the spice, like it gives you the flavor, but you don't want to bite into it when you actually eat the food. So that's why a lot of people don't like to put the whole spices, because they don't really want to bite into it. Especially my kids.
That's why you put it in a
they
whole.
hate it. Yeah, they hate it when they bite into. Oh, I bit into a clove. But all these spices have a lot of health benefits.
Yeah.
Can you just put ground cloves and ground cardamom instead? Is that like what that is, like what's in this?
Basically, it has all that in there. This just gives, you'll see, it will start smelling really good. It just gives a different depth, aroma, and flavor. Okay, so just kind of saute a little
The
bit.
smell.
Are you gonna?
It's already smelling great.
Are you gonna time me to see how long this?
All right. Well, we have the recording. We're gonna find out.
Yes. So now while that is like kind of becomes like a little golden, it doesn't have to be completely golden. It can be just, it can cook along with it. It just takes the rawness of the onion out, So we're gonna put this marinated chicken in here. So you just kind of saute a little bit, let it kind of, just, you don't have to let it all cook up because the pressure cooker is going to cook the whole thing. Okay, so how that is cooking, I'm going to put this rice that's been washed, minimum 20 minutes.
Oh wow, okay.
So I just did it before you guys got here. So I'm not going to put the water in it because the chicken is going to generate a lot of water. That's going to cook this rice. So I'm going to drain that water off, or my son is.
Your assistant here. Do they cook all the time?
They do make pretty much their own meal, like for Easter Sunday breakfast with this thing called appam. It's like a rice pancake kind of thing. So they look forward to, it's a tradition that they look forward to. So I'm going to put this rice in here. Okay.
So you don't mix the rice with the chicken, you just kind of cover it?
No, it's gonna mix. We're gonna mix it. Let the chicken cook in the bottom, and we're gonna mix it at the end. And I also put some it's called Shahi Jeera, which is like a cumin seed, but it's not cumin. It's very much smaller and thinner.
Okay.
And it just gives another smell and flavor to it too. So I just sprinkle a little bit of that in there.
And it has spice in it, or just a different taste? No spice.
Yeah. And I'm gonna put some ghee on top.
Okay. So pretty much we have now layers of like the onion, some spice, then the meat, then the rice. And you didn't mix it yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm just gonna cover it up. I'm gonna put this too, some cilantro and mint too. I love cilantro. So I have the onions cut up, right? Normally we fry the onions in oil. So I'm going to show you a quicker way to do it in the microwave. So I'm just going to put this in here. And I'm not sure, how long it's going to take. So I'm going to start with like 3 minutes.
It's all about trying and seeing.
4 minutes. Okay, 4 minutes. I would say like when I was in college or high school, towards high school, when we came to America and wanted to make it for a special occasion for my dad and for my brother. I didn't have this thing then, so I did it the old way of cooking rice separately.
How was that experience, cooking it by yourself?
It was good. I mean, I would say not perfect, but the thing is, he appreciated it. Okay, so it's
here we go. You have here your
it'll take a little bit. See, it's not brown yet, so it might have to go 8 minutes. Like, so I check it and then do it.
So pretty much you are frying onion in the
without
microwave.
having to stand with it.
Wow.
See, if you were deep frying the onion, you can't leave there. So
That's
here
true.
now I can use this time to clean all this up, put this away, right?
And it's not just that; the whole house gonna smell onion.
Yes. We had an inside kitchen, but it was very small, very limited. We didn't have a stove. It was like one of these cooker thing that we had to stuff it with the bran of wheat. The thing that you throw away, you can buy that as a burning thing.
Okay.
So we had to stuff it and all this. So it wasn't a normal stove. And a lot of times if it's like rainy season, monsoon, whatever, that thing would be soaked and it won't light up. So there was a lot of struggle like that, Here in America, everything is accessible. Even like even poor people, they have a stove. They have a refrigerator. We never had a refrigerator. Whatever we got that day is what we cooked that day. I would go to fish market and buy fish for that day. It's whatever is available in the market is what you cook. So in one way it's really good. Everything is fresh. So that was really tasty, different. When we taste our food here, you never get that exact flavor because things are much more garden fresh. There's nothing like. So this is still not cooked good, right? 100%. So you have to put it again. I'm going to try this time 3 minutes and see how it comes.
So when you decided to move to the U.S.,
really, my dad wanted, for me and my brother to have a life, to get out of India and to have a life here, to pursue a dream and to have a better future. So he agreed. He didn't really want to remarry, but he agreed to remarry, I think mostly for us. So we got to come to America through them. And I would say I had a tough transition coming to America, coming from India, didn't speak English well. I was bullied a lot, so there was a lot of change. Couldn't speak English properly, so because when you're in India, all you've seen is dark hair, You never seen blue eyes, blonde hair, red hair, you name it. You know, you never seen it. You're in like, you think you're in some magical wonderland, you know, like fairies. Everybody looks so beautiful. And snow was like, to come and see snow. You never ever experienced snow. That was amazing at first. You were just rolling in snow. I just learned like grammar, a little bit like this is a book, this is a pen. You know, that's not conversational English. So it was really tough, you know, beginning, yeah.
And before you came, your hometown was, what's the name of your hometown?
It's called Kochi, which is in southern part of India.
And in there you went to school, right?
Yeah, I went to school.
So how was like the different school experience from home to here in the US?
Well, there I was in boarding school for a little bit, which was an all women's kind of boarding school, and it was run by these nuns.
Oh, wow.
And they were super strict. You have to wake up at 5 a.m. and you have to study. You have all these routines schedules you have to follow and do and things like that. Just very strict. And to come here to America, it's more loose. But at the same time, I just wanted to go back. I didn't fit in. You know, it was really hard. I was very, very like malnourished looking, like really skinny, and people made fun of that. Like, especially in Syracuse, there'd be like a wind chill factor, and literally like the wind could just blow me away. That's how skinny I was. You know, kids made fun of me because I looked different. I had this big nose, especially when you're skinny, it's even more obvious. I was bullied for my nose.
Wow.
So like, I wanted to like cut my nose off, you know, and get a new nose job or whatever, like what would help, you know, so that people would stop making fun of me. Through the years, like I've come to accept my nose, and it's okay. That's what makes me me, you know. So it was probably a pretty all-white school. Maybe one or two other Indian kids, maybe. That's about it. And
did you like become friends with them? Like immediately?
I had no friends. I had zero friends because I looked so odd that nobody wanted to be my friend. Like, and the other thing is, kids here grow up. You know, they have to like learn how to do the locker thing. I didn't know how to operate a locker system. Like, and I would carry my backpack, winter coat, everything along everywhere. Just because I don't know how to do, you need to turn right and then turn left. I didn't know how to do that stuff. And it's really hard because people just look at you like, and I would just go to the locker, pretend like I'm turning the locker, and then just like the bell would ring and then go to the class, you know. Well, I had one friend, and she was also different. She's Arabic, and her name is Latifa, and she had another story. So she got married off when she was just 13 years old. So I was like, okay, my life isn't so bad. You know, like when you see another perspective, then I felt sorry for her because she got married off to like an older man, and she was just 13 years old. And so we would share stories and things like that, and I was like, oh, thank God, you know, I'm not married off yet. You know, but I knew like even in Indian culture we have arranged marriages. It's something that they do like because they want to keep them in the same culture. They're so weird about like cultural marriages. Like even if you're Christian, like we're Christian, I couldn't think of marrying a Muslim or a Hindu or any other religion. It has to be a Christian. Not only has to be a Christian, it should preferably the same type of church you go to. If you're Catholic, Catholic. If you're Syrian, Christian, Syrian, you know, that kind of thing. So very strict.
Now what's happened with the onion?
So it's not fully golden yet, like some parts are getting golden.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my cashews to it.
Wow.
I'm going to let it fry a little bit, then put the raisin. Doesn't really need a lot of frying. So far it's been 7 minutes, so I'm going to do another 2 minutes and see how that is. So one thing I learned from my friend, of course, when you're a teenager, right, guys look at you and try to, we didn't know about, I knew my dad was super strict. I couldn't date, or boyfriend, girlfriend, don't even speak about that. So I picked up a great idea from my friend, that I'll also wear a ring on my finger and say I'm married. I'm married too, so don't ask me out. So that was a good idea.
It's like to protect yourself and
to have
From people hitting on you?
no, not like, I wouldn't say hit on me, but it's like people, so there's not even an option, because I just knew that I couldn't come and tell my dad like we're going to go out or dating, or that's not an even option. Okay, so to save from the trouble, I learned from Latifa, I'll also pretend to be married.
Wow.
So nobody asked me, or say, oh, can you go to the prom? Oh, no, I'm married. So
Wow.
so I never went to the prom. I never did any of that stuff. But honestly, like, I don't think I missed anything.
You're so true.
There's people do make a big deal about like proms and dances and all this thing. It's really not.
What about your kids?
Yeah.
They went to their prom. They went to prom. I wasn't going to hold them back from anything. We even named them American names so that they are growing up here, so that they won't have hard time people pronouncing their names. Actually, now they ask us, why did you name us American names? We look Indian, but our name is Brandon and Brittany. So, so because we didn't want, like, my husband's name is Anil, so we didn't want, like, people to butcher the names, so we wanted them to have as easiest time as possible,
because you went through it all, so
Yes.
you don't want them to.
Exactly. I never even took lunch to school. I would starve and not eat lunch just because it looks different, and I didn't like American sandwiches and all that stuff anyway. So and just come home and eat. As soon as you come home, you eat something.
What?
It's real. Oh wow.
Yeah, come smell.
Oh my god.
It's like crispy fried onion,
wow.
and even the cashew.
Okay.
I don't know. Cashew is abundant in India. A lot of cashews come from India, so I think that's why they use it. It's a matter of like whatever is available to you regionally is what they use.
Yeah. We do pecan as well.
We've never seen pecan in entire India.
Oh wow.
We didn't even know what that was. So, and then I'm gonna make a little thing of saffron. This is just milk.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna put some saffron. We got this from Thailand when we went to Thailand.
Really?
So it just gives a nice smell and good color. So when you keep it like this, it's
So you
become
put
a nice,
the
pretty color.
saffron for the taste and the color, or just the color, or
This saffron,
Yeah.
for color and smell, because when we eat, right, it has to smell good, and it'll give you a nice smell. Mainly people use it for the color. It gives a nice golden yellowy kind of color, but some people just use the turmeric powder as well. Each state has their own way of cooking things, and different language. There's like thousands of languages, and each village may have a different dialect. So it's, like not all Indian, but they do teach like Hindi, which is the national language too in school, like the lettering, the writing and all that. And so a lot of people know how to communicate using Hindi. I was just beginning to learn that. I was just really caught in the middle of when we were coming to America. Like, I didn't quite learn Hindi, and so when I watched the movie, I have to read the subtitles just like all of you guys. So I begged my dad get me a job. So he went and talked to the manager and got me a job. And that's the time when you had to announce whatever the person is ordering. There's like a mic, and I could not pronounce the word. See, I still can't do it. Whaler. I don't know if I said it right or not. WH together, that combination. And the people in the back, like, that's a name for a fish sandwich. So when I say it, they don't understand it. So they'd be like, what? And they'd be screaming. And I would speak English like I was speaking our language. Like I would go as fast as I could, you know, like, Whopper Junior, Whopper, you know, like really fast. And they're like, they'll just look at me like, say that again? Like, I have just no idea what you just said. You just do it. It's, I think it's a common theme that other lady was saying, sink or swim.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So you just basically, you gotta survive. You come to America, you survive, and you just do it. Whatever you need to do, just do it. Yeah, I think it's done. You can just hit cancel.
So actually behind the scene we have Saji's son, Brandon, helping with the cooking.
Yes. Made a little, it's called a raita, which is like a yogurt cucumber salad that goes with it. So I'll just go ahead and take that out.
Okay.
So it's just a salad, like it's just a cooling agent, really. Because the food is hot, you want something cooling and refreshing to eat with it. So it's just cucumber, yogurt, tomatoes, and cilantro and salt. Yeah.
What is that?
This is called papadum.
Okay.
So it's like a made out of like lentil thin wafer that you just deep fry real quick, like kind of like tortilla chip.
Okay.
They call it, some of the North Indian people, they call it papad, but this is a South Indian kind. It's a good accompaniment to biryani again. So it has different texture. It takes 2 minutes to. So we had an arranged marriage.
Oh, tell us.
In America?
I went back to India and got married.
Wow.
Do you want to share that story too?
Well, that's another funny story. So here I am now, all American, because you know I went to college here, and my friends are like, what do you mean arranged marriage? You know, like, oh, you don't know the guy and you're going to get married to him? I'm like, yeah, that's the way they do it there. And then I started questioning my dad, like, you know, but what if I don't like him? You know, these kind of things, you know, which is normally not optional back home. You know, you
Like,
just,
what does he like? What music
yeah,
he likes?
no,
Like,
you know, you just, over there, the thing is, if you come from a good family, a good background, they research your background, you know, make sure you're not like cuckoo, and or you don't have any history of like murderers or anything like that. You better have a good reputation, you know. You're, oh, that person came from this family, they're all highly educated. Main thing is highly educated, come from a good stable home. If you're that, then chances are you're pretty good. So I told my dad, like, when he was looking for somebody, I tried to give him like this criteria, like hard to reach, because normally Indian people are not like 6 foot, more than 6 foot. So I said I want somebody who's 6 foot. So I wanted somebody, you know, I was trying to tell him stuff so that he'll never find this ideal person. And that was my trick, like, oh, I'll never have to do an arranged marriage because he'll never find that person. So my dad goes to India ahead of time to find my ideal person. And then he calls me, I think I found the guy. And I'm like, really? Like, okay, can I talk to him? So he let me talk to him, and then I was like, oh my God, this guy is like really serious, you know. And I was really super silly at that time. I would just
How old you were?
Just finished college, like 23, 24. So I went to India and met him. No, I said, he seems so serious. Like, does he even have a sense of humor? You know? And he's like, yeah, he has everything. Trust me, he has everything you need. And So I went and met him, and I'm like, listen, if I don't like this guy, I'm not marrying this guy. You cannot force me to marry this guy, you know. I don't know what it is. Something like just told me like, this is it.
Aww.
So it was like from the, you know, gut feeling kind of thing. Like there was nobody else I wanted to meet. Like there was, you know, it was just like, but I think it's really God's blessing really. Because I think all along, like my grandmother always used to say, like, if you do good, if you're a good girl, like you do good stuff, only good things will come to you, and you'll be blessed, you know. So I just took it as that, like, and she really had that feeling, like, because she knew I had a tough childhood. She knew this is your reward, this is your blessing, you know. And I just knew to trust that instead of questioning and instead of, you know, just being rebellious. So, and then the next thing you know, you say, and they said, I said, can I talk to him? You know, because initially it was a group of people. He was studying, he was finishing up his postgraduate school. So he came like a year, few months, like I think 7-8 months later, he came.
That's great.
And that's where we learned about each other, and we, you know, now you're married, but and this is it kind of thing, you know. Like,
Oh wow.
wait, let me put some more of this stuff in.
You will put it. So it's just on like just milk and saffron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't really melt very well.
So now the magic happening
So
here.
see how the rice is like perfectly cooked.
Wow.
It's not like sticky and.
Do you like bring people home to teach them how to cook, or just like by Instagram and other social media?
So I've had like friends who say, "Can you teach me how to make like one?"
Ooh. Looks great, yeah, and smell good. Maybe we can sit together somewhere while you're eating. We can go over some questions too.
Okay, so what do you use this for?
Normally they cook fish curry in this. Fish. So it just keeps it nice. For some reason, I don't know, it adds to the flavor of the curry.
Yeah. You eat rice?
But we put, yeah, you eat it with plain rice, and then you make it mild because it looks red, fiery hot, but you make it mild with yogurt. By Brandon.
So, do you put this on the stove or how?
Yeah, we are from South, so we, like my husband and all, really likes it spicy. But again, you know, it's what you think about it. Like if people like the kids and stuff get used to it, like they'll realize, oh, this is not a big deal. Like, oh, it's spicy, I can't handle it, you know. It's what you get used to.
So I never chewed any of the
Good.
garlic.
Good.
So
good.
where it
It's in
stayed
there.
in there?
It's still in
Okay.
there. If you see it, but
Yeah,
it just flavors everything. Like I got a clove here. See. I would say that when you're going, whatever you're going through, you think like this is the worst. It can't get any worse. I'm in such a struggle, like God help me, you know, this is the worst possible scenario. But always know that you'll make it, you will survive. I always remember that song, that Eye of the Tiger, and the you know, the will to survive. Just keep that there, and that you can get through anything. If you're religious, praying, that helps a lot. Knowing that, you know, God will be with you and protect you and things like that. And just not giving up, you know. And you're going to be, life is like that. Life is going to be challenges. It's never going to be a bed of roses. There's going to be things that we can never imagine is going to come up. like for example, me not growing up without a mom, but I made it, you know, like most people like, oh, how could I ever live without my mom? And even having my daughter, like I just wanted to be that, always providing for her and doing that, because I grew up not having. But you know, just know that you can make it. Just don't think that I have to give up my life, or just give up in general. Just keep going. You'll find a way. You'll figure, you know that saying, if there's a will, there's a way. So there's always you'll find a way to get through whatever it is life throws at you. And that's what life is. There's never going to be where you know, wow, I'm retired now, everything is good and clear. You know, like some people wait till grow up and okay, when I retire, I'm going to enjoy my life. No, enjoy today, because this is all we have right now, right this moment. I would say just, you know, you'll always find your group of friends and people that you relate to. A lot of times family is what attracts you to an area. Just accepting of others, just like you first you accept yourself and accept others, and treating everybody with kind and respect. You'll find your own little niche, your group to blend in with. I haven't had any problems at all in Jacksonville. People are very welcoming, southern hospitality. It's a good mixture.
This program is brought to you by Islamic Relief USA, Welcoming Gainesville, ACLU Florida, Weave Tales, Reyes Legal PLLC, Engage, Mubarak Law, Welcoming America, Florida Immigrant Coalition, We Are All America, the Law Office of Karen Winston, CARE Florida, Museum of Science and History of Jacksonville, and the family of Andra Myers and Mac McShay.